What we encounter in West Africa are jewelers of immense talent, terrific skill, generous people to a fault. And when we say we're jewelers, they literally embrace us like brothers.
The know-how of making something with nothing, making any piece of jewelry with a hammer and a file, and it's beautiful.
The concept of jewelry in the West, we tend to think of it as rather solitary. Couldn't be more different there, because while this is happening, they're having a running conversation. There are 6 kids running around them. There's tea being made over here, and there are 4 other workers in this very tight space, all doing the same thing.
So I'm Mathieu Cheminet. I'm a jeweler, a teacher, and author. I wrote a book on West African jewelry technique, and I live in Montreal, Canada.
My name is Tim McCreight. I'm a jeweler, teacher, author. Starting as an author, I actually became a publisher, somewhat to my surprise. But in that context, I've had occasion to work with a number of authors, including Mathieu. So the Toolbox initiative collects tools from jewelers or jewelry companies, and we take them to West Africa and end up giving them the tools that we've brought with us.
Each time you walk into a workshop, every apprentice or every jeweler, they have a little metal toolbox, and often really rusted, and inside they have all their little treasure. They could have like 2 pliers and 1 file and a couple beads or a couple stones, and always locked with a lock, so it's their toolbox.
When I went for the first time, that was maybe 4 years ago. And the first day, we had arrived kind of mid-afternoon in the city of Dakar in Senegal. We took off on foot through the neighborhood, and we'd probably gotten about 3 blocks away when we saw a young man who was a jeweler. His studio literally was like a telephone booth. And we have a block of wood for soldering on, and I think a hammer and a file. So we kind of said, stay put, hold on. Ran back to the apartment and loaded up some bags with tools. And we said, here are these tools. Here are these tools for you. He was just sort of blank, you might say, as we were giving him these things. And we said, okay, so that didn't work out quite like we pictured. Went back, happened to talk to our landlady, a local person, and described this situation. I love her phrasing because she said, oh no, she said, he'll be awake 2 or 3 times tonight and he'll go over and touch those tools to see if this really happened. It's really hard for us to imagine going from nothing to something. We quadrupled his professional arsenal right there in 5 minutes. And something that, frankly, these were all giveaway tools. I mean, these were all things that people donated because they didn't need them anymore. And in a way, that was the spark that gave fire to what became the Toolbox initiative.
When we went to a town a little bit away from Dakar, it's called Thiès. And we had those little ingot of silver, like 30, 40 grams piece. And we gave one with tools to one young guy. And the next year we came, we went to visit him, and his display case was full of jewelry. And we were like, wow, what happened? And he's like, well, you gave me 30 grams of silver. And we're like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I made pieces, I sold them, I reinvested it, I sold them. And all of a sudden he had a full display case.
When we show up and they come on in, you sit down, we might be there 20 minutes, we might be there 3 hours. And in that process, we're getting acquainted with these people. We're seeing what they do and we're seeing, what tools they've got. And then we might say, this is a shop that does filigree, and they've got a handmade draw plate, which is just a chunk of steel with holes hammered in it. And so we would say, how'd you like this? And we'll pull out a new draw plate. So it really is that personal thing. It's not like we walk in with a box of tools. It's really built on the personal connection.
When we go together, we each have a bag. We probably have like around 60, 70 pounds each of tools.
Yeah.
And that's part of why we created the Toolbox Travel, where we bring jewelers to West Africa. And we do it for a few reasons. The main reason is because we want to share with people to have that experience of being in a workshop. But one of the reasons is also we get mules. They can carry a lot of tools for us. So each time we go now, we can go up to 450 pounds of tools.
the impact that this makes, that we can do. It's kind of like a leverage situation. In a teeter-totter, if you sort of shift things a little on one end, can have a big impact on the other. And that's what I see there, something that people say, I bought this 3 years ago and I've used it twice. And that thing that's a handoff here can literally change a life.